It was standing on two legs, but it wasn't human. When it looked at me, I saw my brother's face, but my brother was sitting right next to me in the truck. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to InfoBeast. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because today we're diving into something that's kept people awake at night for centuries. We're talking about skinwalkers, shape-shifting entities from Navajo tradition that have become the subject of some of the most disturbing encounters in modern times. Before we begin, I want to be respectful. These are sacred traditions to the Navajo people, and many believe that even talking about skinwalkers can attract their attention. So if you're watching this alone at night, maybe turn on some lights. So what exactly is a skinwalker? In Navajo culture, skinwalkers, or Yi-Nadloshi, translates roughly to by means of it, it goes on all fours. According to tradition, these are people who have gained supernatural powers through the most evil of acts. They're said to be able to transform into animals, possess incredible speed, and read people's thoughts. But here's what makes them truly dangerous. They're not just supernatural creatures, they're human, or at least they were. These are individuals who chose to break the most sacred taboos to gain dark powers. The Navajo traditionally don't discuss skinwalkers with outsiders, and many believe that talking about them or even saying their name can attract their attention. This silence has kept many stories hidden, until recently. The highway encounter. Let me tell you about an encounter that took place in 2019 near the Navajo Nation in New Mexico. A family of 4 was driving home late at night on a remote highway. The father, who we'll call Mike to protect his identity, was behind the wheel. His wife Sarah was in the passenger seat, and their 2 teenagers were in the back, half asleep. It was around 2 a.m. when Sarah first saw it. "There's something running alongside us," she said, pointing to the driver's side. Mike looked over and his blood went cold. Running parallel to their vehicle, which was going about 65 miles per hour, was what looked like a large, hairless coyote, but it was running on its hind legs, its front legs pumping like arms. "I pressed the accelerator," Mike later recounted. "We got up to 80, then 85 miles per hour. This thing kept pace with us perfectly, not even struggling." But here's where it gets truly terrifying. The creature turned its head to look directly at them. And that moment, Mike said it had a human face. Specifically, it had his father's face. His father who had died 2 years earlier. The thing smiled at him, not a dog's expression, a human smile, knowing and malicious. Mike floored it, pushing their SUV to 95 miles per hour. The creature finally fell back, but not before it did something that haunts the family to this day. It spoke. Sarah swears she heard it clearly, despite the closed windows and the roar of the engine. "I'll see you at home." When they finally pulled into their driveway 30 minutes later, there were tracks in the dirt. Large canine-like prints that started at the tree line, circled their house 3 times, and then disappeared into the desert. The family moved within 2 months. The camping incident. Our next account comes from 3 college students who decided to go camping in the Arizona desert in 2021. They picked a spot about 15 miles from the nearest town, wanting to experience true isolation under the stars. The first night was perfect. The second night, everything changed. Around midnight, Jake, one of the students, woke up needing to use the bathroom. He grabbed his flashlight and walked about 50 yards from camp. As he was heading back, he heard something moving in the darkness beyond their fireplace's light. Footsteps, but not normal footsteps. They had a strange rhythm. Tap, tap, step, tap, tap, step, like something was switching between 2 legs and 4. "Who's there?" Jake called out. His friends Emma and Tyson were now awake and watching from their tents. The footsteps stopped. Then out of the darkness, they heard Emma's voice. "Jake, come here. Come see what I found." There was just one problem. Emma was in her tent, visible to Jake. She hadn't said a word. "That's not me," the real Emma whispered, her voice shaking. The voice called again. "Jake, why won't you come? Are you scared of me?" But this time, it sounded wrong, like someone had recorded Emma's voice and was playing it back at the wrong speed. What happened next was captured on Tyson's phone camera, which he had started recording. In the footage, which has since been analyzed by several paranormal researchers, you can see something moving just beyond the firelight. Something large and dark, moving in a way that doesn't look like any known animal. Then it stepped into the light. The students describe it as having the body of an emaciated coyote, but far too large, standing nearly 6 feet tall on its hind legs. Its front legs hung at its sides, ending in what looked disturbingly like long-fingered hands. But the worst part was its head. It had a coyote skull, but the proportions were wrong, stretched and distorted. And where its eyes should have been, there were human eyes. Blue human eyes that reflected the firelight. It stared at them for what felt like an eternity, but was probably only 30 seconds. Then it dropped to all fours and bounded away with impossible speed. The 3 students packed up their camp in the dark and drove straight home. None of them have been camping since. The video they captured has been viewed over 3 million times, though skeptics claim it's an elaborate hoax. The students maintain it's real. The ranch worker. This next account comes from a ranch hand we'll call Thomas, who worked on a property bordering Navajo land in Utah. Thomas had heard the stories from the Navajo ranch hands he worked with. They had warned him, if you see something that doesn't seem right, don't investigate it, don't follow it, and for God's sakes, don't acknowledge it. He thought they were just trying to scare the new guy. One evening, Thomas was checking the fence line in the north pasture when he noticed several cattle grouped together, all staring in the same direction. Cattle don't usually do this. They're grazers. Their attention is usually scattered. But these 20 head were all stock still, staring at a small rise about 200 yards away. Thomas looked toward the rise and saw what appeared to be a man standing there, perfectly motionless. The figure was too far away to make out details, but something about it seemed off. The proportions weren't quite right, the arms too long, the posture too hunched. Thomas made a decision he'd regret. He decided to approach. As he got closer, he realized the man was naked and covered in ash or gray paint. It remained completely still, watching him approach. When Thomas got to about 50 yards, he stopped. Something primal in his brain was screaming him to run. The figure was facing him, but it had no face, at least not one he could see. The head was smooth and featureless, tilted at an unnatural angle. Then it spoke, in a voice that Thomas describes as like grinding metal. "You should not be here." Thomas ran. He didn't look back, didn't slow down, just ran straight to his truck and drove to the main ranch house. When he tried to tell the ranch owner what happened, the man cut him off. "I know, we all see them sometimes. There's a reason the Navajo ranch hands won't work that north section after dark. Just stay away from there and don't talk about it." Thomas learned that 3 ranch hands before him had quit because of encounters in that same area. One had been disappeared for 3 days and was found wandering in the desert with no memory of where he'd been. Another had been found catatonic in his truck, staring at nothing, repeating, "It wore my face," over and over. Thomas finished his contract, but never went near the north pasture again. He now works at a ranch in Colorado and says he'll never set foot in Utah again. Signs and warnings. So how do you know if you've encountered a skinwalker? According to both Navajo tradition and modern accounts, there are several warning signs. Mimicry. Skinwalkers often imitate the voices of people you know, but the imitation is never quite perfect. There's usually something slightly off with the tone, pace, or emotional quality. Animal behavior. Animals can sense them. If your pets suddenly become terrified for no apparent reason, or if wildlife behaves strangely, deer not running when approached, coyotes acting too familiar, it could be a warning. Unusual tracks. Footprints that start as human and shift to animal or vice versa. Tracks that show signs of something running on 2 legs where it should be 4 or vice versa. Feeling of being watched. Nearly every encounter includes witnesses reporting an overwhelming sense of being observed, often accompanied by feelings of dread or terror that seem disproportionate to the situation. Property damage. Unexplained symbols drawn in dirt or scratched in surfaces, livestock found dead with no apparent cause, items moved or stolen, particularly personal items. The Navajo people have lived with this knowledge for generations. They have protocols and protections, sacred practices that aren't shared with outsiders. What's important to remember is that these aren't campfire stories to them. This is real, taken seriously, and treated with the gravity it deserves. The question isn't whether skinwalkers exist. For the Navajo people and many others who live in the Southwest, that question was answered long ago. The real question is, what do we do with these accounts? Thousands of people have reported encounters that are remarkably consistent. They describe entities that don't fit into our understanding of the natural world. Things that seem to operate on rules we don't understand, with intentions we can't fathom. Are they supernatural, interdimensional, something else entirely? We may never know. What we do know is this: respect is key. Respect for the land, for the traditions of those who've lived there for centuries, and for the possibility that we don't know everything about the world we live in. If you ever find yourself in the Southwest, particularly near Navajo land, remember the warnings. Don't go looking for skinwalkers. Don't call out to them. Don't follow strange animals that seem too intelligent or too interested in you. And if you see something that your instincts tell you isn't right, trust those instincts. Get somewhere safe, stay with others, and don't talk about it more than necessary. Because according to tradition, talking about them invites attention. If you made it to the end of this video, drop a comment below. Have you ever had an experience you couldn't explain? Have you ever felt like you were being watched by something that wasn't quite animal, wasn't quite human? Let me know in the comments, but be careful what you share. Some things are better left unsaid. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and hit subscribe with notifications on so you never miss our deep dives into the unexplained. Stay safe out there, everyone, and remember, keep your doors locked.